Hello, I'm Vince Bourbon, the delivery specialist at We Are Airstream of Chandler. Today I want to briefly go over a 2025 Flying Cloud 23-foot. We'll start up at the front. You have your electric jack and a light. Part of the jack is you have a level for front and back, but if you had a failure on the electric jack, you can turn this, remove it, and there's a tool that's provided by Airstream with your trailer that goes in here, and then you remove the propane tanks and you can manually bring the trailer up and down. Up here you also have where you connect to your trailer ball, your chains, your emergency brake controller. You have your 7-way pin. Again, this plugs into your tow vehicle. This charges your batteries while you're driving. Also runs your trailer brakes and your trailer lights. On this side, we have external port for your solar right here. That just plugs in. And then you have a full-size spare tire underneath the frame. And to access that, you would pull the pin out, pull the secondary pin out, and then that bar just comes down and the tire just comes out. On this side, you have an external port for your propane. If you chose to use your propane tanks and needed, you had a grill or an outside barbecue, you could connect here, get a low flow hose, maybe 20 feet, and then connect because you wouldn't be cooking right here. This houses your propane tanks, and inside you have a regulator with a dial. So the dial would be pointed towards the tank that you're going to utilize. Remember, you'll have 2 tanks in this trailer. You turn one on, leave one off. When that one runs out, you turn on the next one. The dial also has green and red indicators. Green is when it's full, and as your propane runs out, it will then turn to red. So it'll give you an indication you're running out of propane. Up front, you have your front window shield, and then you're able to open up your front window and gain air. One feature here is you have 2 Phillips head screws on each side. You would turn those a half a turn if you wanted to clean behind this plexiglass shield or the glass window. So this is on a hinge. It would come out, you would clean it, and then put it back. You also have storage up front with a light that's inside. As we move around to this side, you have more storage, and once again, another light. Each storage container has a light inside. Then you have a power accessory adapter there. This is for your water heater. This is an access panel. There's really nothing you need to do there. This is for the water heater. As we come around, you have your front door with a screen. Airstream recommends that if you're going to shut the door, that you attach the screen and then shut the door, because the plastic on the door, the most plastic is here and here, and you're wanting that to engage every time so it's less wear and tear. And then of course on your Airstream door, you have the door handle. You have 2 locks. You have a deadbolt lock and a regular lock. It is recommended that when you close the door, use the key to lock this. If you were to lock the front door here, you could close the door. If you don't have the keys, then you're gonna be in trouble. So if you close the door and then lock it from the outside, you should never have that issue. A lot of people also put a spare set of keys in their tow vehicle, just as a precaution. One recommendation too is the deadbolt, once it's out, it won't go in if you were to slam the door. So if somehow this became engaged out, children or friends that aren't familiar with the Airstream, some people paint this red with paint or fingernail polish. Therefore, if it's out, you're going to see it. Just makes it easier, one less issue to worry about. You have your Airstream steps. the key to these steps is you push this in, you go 90 degrees, and then just remember roll, roll, roll. You're going to just roll this up, okay? And then you're just going to lift this up a little bit, and it's going to go in just like that. To bring the steps out, just don't stand here. It's recommended that you use both pull tabs here. Don't do one side, it'll come out cockeyed. When you pull that down, it locks in. Then, this is the key, you're going to roll, roll, roll. Just keep rolling this, okay, out. And then it will activate the second step. You have an outside light here, which is controlled on your light panel. And then obviously you have your manual awning that can be brought out. We've done a separate video just on the awning. So if you want to research or look at the link below, you can see just a video on the manual awning, how to engage that, bringing it out, and putting it in. You have 4 stabilizer jacks. You're provided a tool. A lot of people get an electric screwdriver and just drop them. There's 4 on each side to stabilize the trailer. You have outside storage here. You have an outside shade. You just pull this one down. As you bring it down, these arms come away from the wing nut there, and they just go into place here. You bring these out, bring them down, and then this rolls up and just Velcros in there. And then to put it back, you just pull down, put this back in behind that little wing nut, and then you allow this to go back up. And that's it. You do have a backup camera. You on a new Airstream, you'll be provided a monitor that will be plugged into your tow vehicle. Once that monitor is activated, you will be able to see everything in the back of the trailer if someone's backing up. It also has sound, but it's only for the person inside your tow vehicle to hear what's going on out here. You cannot communicate back and forth. And then as we come around to this side, you have an access panel, which is just for your furnace. You have a outside shower with hot and cold that goes in here, and you're provided a hose when you purchase your Airstream. They would just hook up. You have your city water hookup here. This does have a built-in regulator. This is where you'd hook up your potable marine grade hose to city water. When you turn that on, you have instant water in your trailer, just like your house. This is your black tank flush hose. You would obviously not use the same hose. You would have a different hose. Usually they're gray or they're orange. You would hook that up to a water source, turn that on, and there's sprayers in your black tank, and it sprays it down. And there's procedures and videos out there if you needed to see how that worked. But this is how you're going to hook up for the black tank flush. As we move down, you have your sewer hose connection. So you'd attach your sewer hose, and then you have the black handles for your black tank, gray handles for the gray tank. Again, black tank is just the toilet. Gray is everything else. Your kitchen sink, shower, bathroom sink. So normally your gray tank fills up faster than your black tank. Then as we move around, again, the driver's side, you have another awning. This awning just comes out and connects to here, the handle. It's a very small, short awning. It's for shade. This is a vent for inside cooking for your stove cooktop. So if you wanted to vent, the key here is you need to remove these little plastic tabs so the vent door flaps and it's open. For traveling, you put the plastic tabs in place so it doesn't open. If you forget to do that and you activate your fan and you're cooking, smoke will then set off your smoke detector. So you need to make sure you come out and open this up. As we move along, always remember your lug nuts and tire pressure. The placard is towards the front of the trailer for your tire pressure. Airstream recommends 80 psi cold. That's a personal thing, but it is indicated on the outside of the trailer. And your lug nuts should be torqued at 110, and you should be checking those before every trip. You have a smart plug here. To remove the smart plug, you just squeeze it in and just pull it out. Blue light just means we're plugged in to power. And then to put the smart plug back in, you just squeeze this locks in place. It does come with a dust cover, so that would just go on like that in case you're wondering what this plastic is for. And to store the dust cover, it just goes up underneath the cover here, just like that. You also have data ports here. So you have a cable outlet and then a data port. A lot of people use that data port for Starlink and other electronic devices for internet service. You have this door, once open, allows you to fill your freshwater tank to have onboard water when traveling or boondocking. And then you have another storage bay door here with a light. We'll move inside and go over some of the key features. So as we come in, this 23-foot Flying Cloud, you've got light switches. One light switch is for your entry light. One light switch is for your awning. So when the awning is out, you have an actual light LED strip, and it's dimmable. You have ceiling lights, and you can dim those ceiling lights. This is your battery disconnect. So if you were to go into storage, you'd want to activate that. By doing so, it completely turns off the power to your trailer, doesn't allow any parasitic draw, but it does not shut off your solar. So if you have solar, it's still going to charge your batteries. Then we have your bathroom in the 23-foot. You have a shower. You always want to lock the handle here for traveling. And on this side, you're going to have a porcelain toilet with a pump action on the side. So as you push that down, it will flush the toilet. You push it down a little bit, it will fill up the bowl. Then all of your controls for your tanks and water heater are inside this trailer. So therefore, you have your water pump. Green light comes on, you can hear it pressurize. You would turn the water pump on when you are boondocking or need water and not hooked up to city water. You have a battery button that tells you if your batteries are fully charged. And then you have fresh water. So if you had water in the tank, your freshwater tank would give you a percent readout from 0 to 100%. Same with the gray. The gray will read the percent that's in the gray tank and then the black tanks. You also have a water heater. There's nothing you need to do. You don't have to light pilot lights. All you do is you hit the button twice. It turns on the water heater. The hottest you can go in this particular trailer is 124. Most people obviously want to dial that down to probably 100. You just keep hitting the button, bring it down. It's flashing. When it stops, that means it's starting to heat. It is on demand. However, it does take about 10 minutes or so to heat up. And then when you're not using it, it's recommended to turn that water heater off. As we move around to the kitchen area, you have storage, kind of like a spice rack. It's also recommended that you zip tie these. These came from the factory zip tied, but they can be removed because this stuff does move when you're going down the road. So if you have them zip tied, it's not going to shift and you're not going to open it and have things falling out. Same with your sink cover. It's light, cutting board, but for traveling, it is recommended that you put this under the bed or a cushion because as it's rattling, it's driving. You don't want this to rattle in and damage something. You have a sprayer connected to your kitchen sink. You have your solar control panel telling you what you're drawing if you're outside. And then this is your inverter if you were boondocking and wanted to plug into certain outlets and invert your power. 3-burner stove has a light. You have your 3 controllers for the burners and your igniter here. For igniting, if we have propane, you would just push this in, you would line up this flame with the arrow, and then you'd turn the igniter and then it would come on. You have that fan, which again you'd want to open up outside, and a light. These black vents are for your furnace on the floor that runs off propane. We have your fuses and breakers right here. You have a carbon monoxide detector right there. And then you have your Nordic Cold 12-volt refrigerator. The beauty of this refrigerator, it's all electric, but when you're plugged into your 7-way pin driving down the road, it's actually keeping your food cool. Uses very little electricity, so it's going to stay cold for you. You have 2 locks, so for traveling, you definitely want to make sure you lock those. And then you just kind of lift this up, pull it out, and you have a dial in here that you can dial in the coldness. As we move around here, you do have your stereo system. On this one, you have USB, FM, AM, and Bluetooth you can connect to. This dinette makes into a lounge or a bed. All you need to do is you have 2 levers here. You pull these levers out. That now allows us to swivel and go down or up. So to make it into a lounge or a bed, you'd push this all the way down, level, lift the cushions up, and then you'd lock it into place. You'd move the cushions in and you could sleep or lounge in this area. You have one other feature here. This will actually move. There's another lever underneath here, and if you pull that out, the table will actually move backwards and forwards, or you can swivel. So it has a lot of versatility. As we move towards the closet in here, you have storage, and then once again you have a light. Back here, this model has 2 twin beds with storage underneath. You have more storage up here. You have 2 map lights back there. You have light switches here that dim. You have a swivel TV here. This is the only TV in this particular trailer. You pull this tab down and the TV will swivel. And of course, you can face it out towards the living room area or keep it in the bedroom. And then you want to push this in place so it locks in for travel. And then lastly, we have your thermostat for this trailer. This is ducted air, nice and quiet. It has a mode. When you hit the mode button, it's going to do several things. The first one is going to turn on the fan. If you just want fresh air coming in your vents. Secondly, it's going to give you cool, which now will kick on the compressor and you'll have air conditioning. And you can dial in the temperature here. Next, you have a heat pump. The heat pump allows you to utilize your roof air conditioner to provide warmer air in here if you were trying to save or conserve propane. You could use your heat pump. Next is the heat pump and the furnace. Your furnace just runs off of propane. Again, those vents down below. So if it was really, really cold, you could turn on your furnace and your heat pump, or you can just go to furnace alone. And then we just turn that off. And one other feature is you have a fantastic fan in this trailer. You have an on-off button. When you hit that, it automatically opens and will turn on. It's not recommended you drive with it open, but at your campsite or wherever you're traveling, once you're stopped, it sucks air out of the trailer. You can also dial that up or down if you want the fan on higher, or you just want the fan off. And then it is rain sensing. And if it was too sensitive, you can adjust that as well and not have it so it closes immediately when it starts to rain. Just turn it off. You just hit the power button. It automatically shuts off and closes. So that concludes our tour of the 2025 Flying Cloud 23-foot. Again, we have numerous trailers at We're Airstream of Chandler. If we can be any of assistance, please contact us.